Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Strath High School Wind Ensemble. My name is Nick Pignataro, and I'm the band and orchestra director here at Strath. Tonight's concert is the second of two concerts exploring American music. What it means to be United Statesian and American in music. It doesn't necessarily mean that all the composers have to be American or whatever. But what it does mean is that the music is somehow contributed to our national identity. That the music comes from all types of composers to a great Rhapsody. And this is the 100th birthday of George Gershwin's famous Rhapsody in Blue, which you'll hear later this evening. To me, a rhapsody is a collection of musical episodes, just like Slava, which you heard by Leonard Bernstein. Moments, just when you get used to a melody, it changes on you. And so the composers of tonight's music are very whimsical people. The music is extremely sporty and fun. And somehow identify as American. This is the first concert I think I've conducted at the high school where all of the composers identify as white male, and by design. Because one of the reasons for this is that there is a more to them than meets the eye and underneath their surface. For one, they're sons of immigrants or grandchildren of immigrants that were given a hard time when they came to the United States. They're also labeled for their romantic preferences and rumored affairs, as well as their religious preferences and religious beliefs. But also their music was inherited by the composers we have today. And so I wanted to explore the other side, a different side, a more famous side of American music in this concert to complement the people like Amy Beach and Florence Price and Adrian Gordon and Anton Dvorak and John Philip Sousa, who we heard in the concert in March. The next work is Copeland, Aaron Copland, a contemporary of Leonard Bernstein. In fact, they were friends for something like 50 years, inseparable. They were together as young people, together as old people. Copeland was trained by Nadia Boulanger, who was a famous French composer and conductor, and she has influenced not only Copeland but Bernstein, because Copeland and Bernstein worked together. So the ladies get the last laugh on this one. Copeland's work to me is truly American, in the way that it is primordial. It opens this work, The Promise of Living, with just a very quiet solo sound, simple melodies, reminds me of Appalachian Spring or Rodeo works by Copeland. And it just, the freedom of the American concept, the democratic experiment, starting from scratch and building into something that is this democracy that we have today, or this republic that we have today, is, I think, signified in this work. This is from The Tenderland, which is a beautiful story. This is a hymn of thanksgiving, which would be perfect for Labor Day or for Thanksgiving Day. You'll hear numerous soloists throughout the band. It's a slow start with a rousing finish. This is The Promise of Living, a vocal piece played for band, by band, from the Tenderland Suite of Aaron Copland. We end this portion of the program, the wind ensemble portion, with 3 fantastic young soloists, a trio of mallet players, Nathan Seppenwall, who is a senior, and we have Juliet Lloyd, who is a freshman. What could be more American than a white picket fence? It is the image of the American dream, owning a home, having a fence, a picket fence. This is called Serenade for a Picket Fence. It's just a fun, borderline, excitingly silly concept that we're going to play for you in the 3 xylophones. This is written by Norman Layden. It was actually commissioned by a person in Connecticut named Donald Luckenbill, who was actually the uncle of my trumpet teacher growing up. And I found this out as we were researching music a few years ago for this concert. And it's always cool when we can bring music home like that and feature dynamic musicians, seniors and freshmen here at the high school. This is Serenade for a Picket Fence, and the last tune by the Wind Ensemble. am the student of Nadia Boulanger and the trainer, if you will, mentor to Leonard Bernstein. The whimsical music, even though it's serious, the fanfare for the common man was brought for tax day. He wanted us regular folk to be celebrated. So as you are doing something quite regular tonight, please enjoy this ode to you, which was fanfare for the common man. I remember being in college playing a wind ensemble piece called Fanfare for the Uncommon Woman, and there's also a brass ensemble piece called Fanfare for the Common Cold. Neither of those we play tonight. We're going to stick with Fanfare for the Common Man. We bring forward senior and cellist Sarah Ventriglia, who will play music by Heitor Villa-Lobos for you. This is music from Brazil, a Portuguese composer, but made famous in the United States. It's a vocal work for orchestra, actually made for lots and lots of cellos. So here we have a cello soloist playing the vocal lines. Sarah is a wonderful young musician and a leader in our orchestra. So we feature her today in this work. This is Aria Cantilena from the Portuguese composer made famous in the United States. This is Heitor Villa-Lobos. Okay, everyone, as we begin to go to the next section of the program, one word, please, is at this time, thanks to copyright laws and the Walt Disney World Resort, please do not record or take photos of this section of the concert. I'm under strict obligation to make sure that this doesn't wind up on the internet. I have this video for us on a flash drive. I famously lost it the last time. Or no, broke it. That's what I deleted it. That's what it was. I can't remember. Anyway, this is a video we'd like you to watch. We ask you, please do not record. Just enjoy this in the moment. This happened where about half of our orchestra traveled to Walt Disney World in March, and we performed as a marching band, but also as a symphony orchestra. Because our orchestra was so large, they had to move us to a large ballroom in the Contemporary Resort, which is a famous hotel, the same room, we found out, where Richard Nixon gave his "I'm not a crook" speech, which is cool, because I've never been in the same room as Richard Nixon before, so this was really exciting for us. And we were there with a wonderful teaching artist named Brian, and his job was to take this orchestra he's never met before with no rehearsal and turn them into a recording orchestra. He later told us that we were a one-take orchestra, because we were able to make all of our recordings in just one take after a little bit of rehearsal. They ushered us into this room, and they decided they heard us for a little bit of time. Our students were incredibly attentive. Musical. It is an experience that we just can't give them here in Wallingford. It was something that was really wonderful to take them to Disney World. I was really lucky to be there with our assistant principal and my colleague, Tom McLaughlin, who's sitting here. He will tell you, if you ask him, that this experience was just truly magnificent. I'm really grateful to people like Mr. McLaughlin and the Board of School Directors for supporting our work here at Wallingford Swarthmore, our superintendent, assistant superintendent, and our entire administrative team, our building administration, the teachers, the staff, the faculty, you parents, the community members who make this possible. I'm reminded as I look at Mr. McLaughlin in the audience how much support the Wallingford Swarthmore School District gives to its music program. We are extremely lucky to be here as we are considering the daunting task of finding someone to complete a role of teaching where Mr. Schenkweiler is leaving us. I'm reminded each time a new candidate comes forward of just how lucky we are as they ask us, why do we love this place? And they already know when we walk in. So please, if any of this music is exciting to you, if your experience of your students has been positive or anything like that, or even mildly positive, tell your school board director and thank them for their support. Tell the administration at your schools, tell them that you're really happy that they support us, because we are so grateful for the support that we get here. This doesn't happen in most places. So it's really exciting that it happens at a very small school in the suburbs of Philadelphia. As we're about to watch this, we'll tell you that Mr. McLaughlin and I are not only fans of Disney. I found out that Mr. McLaughlin knows more about Disney World than I could ever forget or ever learn. He will forget more than I can learn. But what I learned on that trip and throughout the year is that Mr. McLaughlin is not only the person who tells you you can't get a parking spot or something like that, but he's not only a Disney adult, but he's a music adult. He is as big a fan as he is of Disney World. He's a fan of our music education program here at Strath Haven. So I'm really grateful for you. It means a lot that you're here, and it means a lot that you enjoyed this moment, which we'll play with no further ado. It was an incredible experience, and we're so glad we finally got to show it to you, and I didn't delete it. The story was I accidentally deleted it. I kept this one in a safe in my office since we've got it down. Thank you all so much for enjoying that with us. We close this portion of the concert with a work by George Gershwin, and it's the name, so to speak, of this concert, Rhapsody in Blue. This is its 100th birthday. Is 2024. Because in 1924, as the story goes, which you can read in your program notes, that Gershwin wrote this whimsical piece without really knowing he had to do it. Sounds like a perfect Strath Haven student. He sort of like waited to the last minute and then came out with something really wonderful. He actually didn't know he was writing it. He read in the newspaper that he was going to write it in like 2 days or something like this, or a few days. And then what he did was he wrote this magnificent work. Most of it was improvised. It's usually for piano and orchestra. Today we have a version that is for full orchestra. This is Rhapsody in Blue by George Gershwin, by the Strath Haven High School Symphony Orchestra. the symphonic band of Strath High School, which has been a joy to conduct and work with since we first stepped foot on the stage. And that was the music of Fred Rogers. Mr. Rogers is, of course, a community show, a TV show. TVs are these things that you used to have. They like sat on a table or like on the wall even. Some of them were flat before you like used your phone for everything. And he would come on this thing and he would talk to the kids about wonderful things that are good, but also things that are difficult. And we've struggled and succeeded in this school year, as we do in every school year. Every school year is exactly the same in that it's always different. There's no constant in education. And learning is the same way. And so we've found ways to cope. And that is one of the reasons I wanted to bring Mr. Rogers' music to the stage tonight. Before we continue on with the performance, I want to invite some members of our band and orchestra who are being awarded with an entry into the Tri-M Music Honor Society. Tri-M Music Honor Society is similar to National Honor Society or other art honor societies, where it's a national organization led by the National Association for Music Education, a nationwide thing that is committed to service to school. So these folks actually applied at the end of last year and are now being inducted informally as we start our chapter 8458. And what we'll do as we go forward in the fall semester, we'll start up right. We'll have officers and meetings, and well, not too many meetings, let's keep that calm there, but a chance for us to support the music program. So this is commitment and service. There will be another round of applications that come soon. So just a moment, what I'll do, students, is I'll go to the podium over here. If when I call your name, if you're on stage, please please come to this podium. If you're in the audience, come there. I'll hand you your envelope, and away we go. Should have thought of some music. Okay, so the first person, please, come on forward, is Sam Centivan. Cecily Isito. Carolyn Eskenazi. Josephine Wheelan. Vincent Hu. Wyatt Staley Bischoff. Quentin Saylor. Christina C. Caitlin Snyder. Abigail Schofield. Caitlin Ho. Henry Reacher. Tess Kelly. Edward Walls. So this is the first official class of Strath Haven's Chapter 8458 of the Tri-M Music Honor Society. They have gotten an email already starting tomorrow. I will tap them to do some work for me, and that's how it'll go. Thanks so much, folks. Congratulations again. We go back to Leonard Bernstein's music, this time a simple song from his work called Mass. Leonard Bernstein, again, a quintessential American composer for me because he's so quirky, because he had two sides to himself at all times. The public side in which he was married, and the private side in which he had romantic affairs with both men and women. He was the public figure of like Christian America, but also the public figure of Jewish America, a public figure in composition and conducting. He always felt at odds with himself, and it appears in his music. His music is often so quirky. There's a duality to his music. This work is called Mass. It's a long theater work based on the Catholic Mass. And Jackie Kennedy, for the opening of the Kennedy Center in Washington, D.C., commissioned him or asked him to write this work. So it's sort of an opera without the scenery and without the costuming and things. But what happens is a Catholic Mass occurs, but the one of the main characters, the celebrant, the priest, goes throughout the Mass, but as he's doing this, he loses faith because he's confronted by the trials of society, to the point where he throws the Eucharist, what Catholics believe to be the incarnation, the actual body of Jesus, onto the floor in sacrilege. And it was controversial, because that's a big deal. So what happens, though, is throughout the work, spoiler alert, he restores his faith, because there's this little birdie, this little flute solo, which symbolizes the Holy Spirit. The Holy Spirit, whether it's an actual Holy Spirit or if it's an actual part of God or if it's a human nature thing, comes back and restores faith. With a message that no matter what is going on, there is some element of humanity that restores us. We just have to find it, and sometimes it's the quirkiest little flute. Not that the flute is quirky, but the line is quirky when you hear it. It sounds jarring, but I think that Bernstein intended this. So this is the beginning when the priest is praying psalms. This is called a simple song, originally for vocal and rock ballad, now played by the symphonic band. rehearsal probably happens once or twice a year, in which we're rehearsing out here right before a concert, and just behind that curtain, there is a thin, thin, thin door, nothing soundproofed, and that leads you into the realm of John Shankweiler. And one of the things about that door is that it doesn't block a dang thing. So everything I do or he does in there, we hear it. And there's a couple moments in this next one where the drums got going, and I'm rehearsing, this was this week, and John just and then closes it. But the reality is that there's very few people that value art like John Shankweiler does. And Mr. Shankweiler is retiring at the end of this school year after decades of serving Wallingford's North Port. We're trying to imagine Strath Haven without him, and it's getting hard to do that because it's starting to feel pretty real. And he's become a friend. And one of the ways that he's become a friend is that he's positively encouraging me. And he's encouraged me to, see, something really important for me in this program is that he encouraged me to be myself when I had to follow someone who was so legendary in Jack Hans. And so I'm so grateful to John for that and for all the wonderful music and laughs that we have, stories that I can't share with you, but I promise they're funny. And my promise to John will be that for whoever works with us next year, that I will encourage them to be nothing like John Shankweiler, and to be what he would want, which is for them to be their musical selves, which is what he wants for everybody. So John, I'm going to miss you very much. And with that, we'll end our concert. This is the final concert of the season, but we do have some other performances. On Friday, the Jazz Band 1 and 2 are going to Rehoboth Beach in Delaware. The choirs are singing for us right here on the stage next Wednesday, May 22nd. Check out George Slick recitals coming up. And of course, the concert band, the symphonic band minus the seniors, will be playing at the graduation ceremony on June 7th. Nothing more nerve-wracking than playing in front of all of the school district administrators and school board and teachers without our senior leaders. But that's okay because they get to enjoy moments. Thank you, seniors, for all those years of playing Pomp and Circumstance. You get to listen now, and thank you for this wonderful time. It's a bittersweet end, always. It's good to finish. It's good to have a wonderful concert, but it is sad that this is the last one. This is a great song for no other reason than it's just truly enjoyable by a composer who's living called Christopher Theophanides. His music has great orchestral colors for a concert band. We hope you enjoy. We hope you have a wonderful night.
Okay, I'm sorry. Concert. Is this on? Hi guys. I know you guys want to get home, but we have a little special something. I don't know if you guys know this, but a little while ago, our local Fox 29 actually did a little bit of an expose on Mr. P. Woo! Unfortunately, he wasn't interesting enough, so they never aired it. But I got them to release the footage to me, and so we're gonna play it tonight.
This is a Fox News special report.
Hello, my name is Christina Machado, and I'm reporting for Fox 29 just outside of Strath Haven High School here in Wallingford, Pennsylvania. Strath Haven High School is well known for its prestige in the Delaware County area, but what the school is most known for is its renowned music program. Today, we go behind the scenes to the man who's in charge of it all, Nick Pignataro. Mr. Pignataro started working at Strath Haven in 2018 and has uplifted the program with his love of music and teaching. But rumors have been circulating that Mr. Pignataro isn't the angel that he makes himself out to be. With the help of the Strath Haven students, we're going to uncover the question that everybody has been asking. Who really is Mr. Pignataro? Let's find out. Across the Jack Hans Memorial Bridge and over at the middle school is George L. King Field. While this field is currently home to the girls lacrosse and track and field teams, during the fall, it serves as the stage for the Pride of Haven, the Strath Haven Panther Marching Band. Boasting over 300 members each year, the Panther Marching Band involves over a third of the student body at Strath Haven. Because of such large participation, many believe that Mr. Pignataro forces students to join the marching band. The truth may not be so far off.
I originally emailed him trying to play the trumpet for the marching band. I went up for the meeting, and he just handed me a tuba. He was astounded at how well I played, even though, I was terrible. So he kind of he tricked me into playing the tuba.
Oh, well, he did say, don't treat kids with respect, treat them as subhumans. And he also he said, if you need to kill anyone, kill Brianne, so.
So we had Crime Wednesday, but they called it We Hate Crime Wednesday. But then when we brought it up, Mr. P was like, but I don't. Every day I resist the urge to hit kids with my car.
He would always say, just don't fire me for another 35 years and I'm fine.
I was called out by the Mr. P about hitting a car in the Target parking lot, and I've never been the same since. I now fear every single time I get in a car that he's just going to be lurking and going to see me accidentally hit something else, so I'm scared. I ask for a bigger locker every year so I can hide.
Yeah, actually, one time he had to make a public apology in front of the whole band and send out an email to apologize for some of his actions.
Can you tell me what that apology was about?
I don't think I should.
Truly harrowing tales from these marching band students. But they're not the only ensemble to have such experiences. Let's head back across the bridge. Back at the high school, we ventured down the hallway into room 343. This is where the Strath Haven String and Symphony Orchestras prepare for concert. The orchestras are the largest concert ensemble and have the privilege of traveling to Florida to perform at Disney World and Universal Studios Park every other year. Mr. Pinatero has testified himself that the orchestras are his favorite ensemble. But does that mean that they're treated better than the marching band?
Well, on my first day of real orchestra, I was talking to my friend Joe Kelly, and he turned to me and said, "EC and Joe," and walked over and made us physically zip our mouths closed and give him the key. And this is the first time I learned he knew my name.
I mean, he's talked to my brother about how hard it must be living with me. I think that he's kind of corrupting the minds of the youths where I am.
Sarah was sweeping or vacuuming, and Mr. P said something like, "Oh, good, you're finally doing your womanly duty, learning how to clean up after the house." So that was a red flag for me.
He told me that it would be a better use of my time if I burned my cello in a fire.
He's generally making fun of the violas, but every once in a while he says something about the cellos, about us not being prepared, even when we are prepared.
I mean, I hear you guys are the best section in the orchestra.
I mean, of course. What else?
Has Mr. P ever said anything to you that can serve you?
Well, I haven't been to rehearsal in 3 weeks, so I don't know.
Thank you.
During Halloween, I was dressed up as Patrick Star, and he saw me and was like, "Ling, the mask you're wearing is so scary. You're going to scare all the children away." And I looked at myself in my phone camera. I was wearing nothing. He called me ugly to my face.
Seems like Mr. Pinatero's favor doesn't win the orchestras any special treatment. But there is one more ensemble that seems to get the brunt of his wrath. Follow me. Across the hall is the George H. Slick Auditorium. This auditorium hosts many events throughout the year, but most notably are the Symphonic Band and Wind Ensemble concerts. The Symphonic Band is by far the most well-known out of all the concert bands and has a stellar reputation. The Symphonic Band always closes the concert because they simply are the best. But just because they're good doesn't mean they're exempt from Mr. Pinatero's comments.
Everyone loves Mr. P. My parents love Mr. P. They think he's such a sane teacher and a person. He's crazy. He sniffs markers every single time he opens one. He can't find a marker to sniff. He gets very upset.
The things that he said, I can't even repeat them on camera here and get him fired.
He's always making jokes at our expense. Now we're just a load of troublemakers.
I hear the percussion section is good this year. Does he still make fun of you like that?
He makes fun of us for being nice.
Well, I'd like to appreciate the fact that Mr. P still accepts us after the Heath incident at Universal Studios, and that's all I can say.
I'd say he's a pretty dramatic guy. You gotta be dramatic to control a big man. He's very expressive, I'd say.
There was this one time in Symphonic Band, he was asking for a bat, like a baseball bat kind of bat. I wasn't sure why, but he wanted one for some reason.
Well, one time he was conducting, and it would...
I'm so sorry that happened to you.
Yeah, it's okay. We just don't
Don't talk about it.
I truly feel for these students who've had to endure so much during their time here at Strath Haven. So many harsh words said of students who just love music. After so many testimonies, I had to hear the truth, straight from the man himself. All right, Mr. Pinatero, there have been a lot of allegations against you. What do you have to say for yourself?
I've heard those allegations, and I don't really think they're true. I mean, one of the things is people say I don't like the kids. Well, the reality is they're not kids to me. They're just little dollar signs running around.
Well, you heard it here first. Mr. Pinatero only cares about the money, which is strange given, well, I'm not going to speculate on a teacher's paycheck. Anyways, thanks for watching this year's edition of The Senior Prank.
Alright, so when I got this last year, I didn't get a speech or anything, but here I am. This is the trombone Elmo, the marching band Elmo. I think it's been the band for a long time. It gets passed down from a senior to junior every year, so I added this year. And I haven't even told anyone who's gotten it yet, but this year it'll be going to Colin Sturgeon. So, yeah.
Some flowers for Mr. P. Audrey, would you like to give Mr. P the flowers? We also have a card. We got all the seniors to sign it to say thank you, and I know we have some people that want to say some words, so.
So I wanted to say thank you to Mr. P. Freshman year was kind of hard for us because it was COVID for us, and still he kept us in the music program and he kept us interested in it, and I think if it wasn't for the way that he really made me enjoy music, I probably would have dropped my instrument, but I kept going for 4 years because he really made me enjoy it, and I always had so much fun, whether it was marching band, even if it was 100-something degrees outside, or if we were inside, and even when I kept begging you to give me a solo, and I got one this year, and you just made band so much fun and so enjoyable, and you really taught us how to be leaders and good musicians, so I'm very thankful for you.
I just want to say thank you, Mr. P, for 4 great years of all this. I mean, you've really put a level of trust in all of us, trust to be leaders, trust to grow. But you've also made such a great connection with everybody here, all 300 people in the marching band, orchestras, every single music program, even if you're not a part of it. I've seen you in the choral room sometimes. But that's something that you don't see that often, especially at this scale. And you're able to make such great music out of us, which is very hard, especially. But just, you have been great to each of us individually, each of us as a group, and all of us as ensembles. Thank you.
I've known Mr. P since I moved here, and that was my freshman year. I joined marching band and orchestra right away as a new student, and although Mr. P always has a bathroom joke, or a sibling roast, or a sexist comment to make at me, there's so much more to him than that. He has been the most incredible leader and teacher and mentor that I could ever have asked for, and he's been there every step of the way, whether I needed musical input or leadership advice or just encouragement on a bad day. I couldn't be more grateful for all the opportunities and blessings that these 4 years have brought me musically, and I have you to thank for the majority of that. And I can't imagine doing music in college next year without you bothering me every single day. But I'm so thankful for the 4 years that we had together. Thank you for setting the standard no matter what, from one band at 7 to your determination to do not only the big things, but also all the small things, to be who we are and to be that well.
getting back into playing instruments and practicing during COVID and after COVID, and just seeing you conduct here up on stage, outside on the football field, 8 feet away in chairs with masks on, playing Pop from Circumstance. From that to here and now, it's just an honor to be in this band with you, and I'm always inspired when I see you waving your arms and having a grin on your face in every single concert. Thank you.
I just wanted to say, I started filming that video in October, and I didn't really know what I wanted, like, the vision for it to be, so I just started, like, recording, like, say something about Mr. P, and I started editing about it, like, 2 weeks ago, and there was so much I couldn't use because so many people said nice things about you. I mean, I think one of my favorite parts of doing this video is that I got to go around and see just how many people had, like great experiences in the marching band. Everyone was like, oh, I want to be in this, I want to be in this, because they really wanted to show you how much you've, like, changed. I mean, all of us, and everyone here, too. I think being here at Strath Haven, this music program, is really special, but I don't think it would be the same if it was just any other random music teacher. I think a lot of it definitely comes from you and the energy and the passion that you put into this. It's a lot of hard work, and you do it really well, so thank you.
Say that Christina said she was just filming something, and kids are always in my room filming something. I assumed it was some project. And she said, say something really funny. I just need to test my microphone. I was like, okay. So I did. Domhnall, you said you would have dropped your instrument, but you've dropped it many, many, many times. I have to repair bills in the future. Anyway, I didn't know they were going to do this, but I appreciate you all very, very much. Much love, appreciation to all of you. Thanks so much. Let's play the music. Okay, this is sweet like that, unless another video starts.